Copyright laws and fair use guidelines can be confusing and intimidating. This presentation was created to provide clarification of copyright guidelines as it pertains to education. Copyright provides protection for original works. This covers both published and unpublished works. All works published in the United States before 1923 are in the public domain. Works published after 1922, but before 1978, are protected for 95 years from the date of publication. If the work was created but not published before 1978, the copyright lasts for the life of the author plus 70 years. The following lists all things that are copyright protected: literary works, musical works, dramatic works, things that have been choreographed, pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works, motion pictures and other audiovisual works, sound recordings, and architectural works. So what is not protected? Ideas and concepts, titles, names, slogans, works that consist entirely of information that is commonly available and contains no originality, and anything written or created by the U.S. government. Other laws may protect these categories. For example, short phrases and slogans could have trademark protection. Trademark laws are different from copyright laws. Here are some popular copyright myths. If it's on the internet, it's in the public domain, and therefore free. If there's no copyright notice, I can use the image. If I alter the image, I don't need permission. If I don't profit from it, I can use it. If I only use a part of the image, I don't need permission. Public domain is very misunderstood. You cannot assume that any work on the internet is public domain. The formality of copyright notice is no longer required under U.S. law and never required in most foreign countries. One cannot assume that any work without notice can be used. Altering an image is an exclusive right of the copyright owner and requires permission almost all the time. Any unauthorized use is an infringement whether you profit or not. So what is fair use? Fair use is the limited copying or use of copyrighted works for educational and research purposes. There are four main factors of determining fair use: the purpose of the use, the nature of the work, the amount of work used, and the market effect. The works should be used to add new meaning or to create something different. Factual works are more likely to be considered fair use than creative works. Only use a small amount of the work and do not take the main element of the work. It has to be used for nonprofit purposes. You cannot use it in any way that will make a profit for someone other than the copyright holder. Here are some examples of fair use. A class studying an artist using samples to critique and analyze his or her work. Manipulating an image to learn Photoshop or other software. Class handouts of very short excerpts from a book. Quoting for purposes of reporting the news or criticizing or commenting on a particular work of art, writing, speech, or scholarship. What you can do in a school environment to learn design is different to what you can do in a commercial environment where you make designs for profit. It is fine to use a small portion of a written work, but you cannot use it multiple times throughout several consecutive years. There are also limits placed on fair use. For motion media, you can use up to 10% or 3 minutes, whichever is less, and it may be reproduced or otherwise incorporated as a part of an educational multimedia project. For text material, you can use up to 10% or 1,000 words, whichever is less. An entire poem of less than 250 words may be used, but no more than 3 poems by one poet, or 5 poems by different poets from any anthology may be used. For poems of greater length, 250 words may be used, but no more than 3 excerpts by a poet or 5 excerpts by different poets from a single anthology may be used. For music, lyrics, and music videos, up to 10%, but no more than 30 seconds of the music and lyrics from an individual musical work can be used or reproduced as a part of a multimedia project. Any alterations to a musical work shall not change the basic melody or the fundamental character of the work. For illustrations and photographs, the reproduction or incorporation of photographs and illustrations may be used in its entirety, but no more than 5 images by an artist or photographer may be reproduced or otherwise incorporated as part of an educational multimedia project. When using photographs and illustrations from a published collective work, not more than 10% or 15 images, whichever is less, may be reproduced or otherwise incorporated as part of an educational multimedia project. Here are some scenarios for thought and discussion. An instructor wishes to show the motion picture Glory in its entirety to her class to reinforce lessons on the Civil War. Is this allowed under copyright law? The answer is yes. Section 1101 of U.S. copyright law allows educators, for the purpose of instruction, to show a film, perform or listen to a piece of music, perform or show a play, or show slides of other images. The stipulation is that the instructor must be present in the classroom, which means this cannot be shown with the substitute teacher or any other adult other than the instructor. You must use a legally obtained copy of the work, and there must be a pedagogical purpose for the use. You're going to be attending professional development training and will miss a class session. The students have been working really hard, so you decide to give them a break and show them a movie just for fun. Is this permitted? No. The law permits viewing of whole films in the classroom, but the content must be of relevance to the material being taught. Showing any movie just for fun is a violation of copyright. The French Club is trying to raise money for a field trip. They want to show the movie Ratatouille and charge admission. Is this permitted? No. Non-classroom use at schools would be considered a public performance and would need a license to be shown. In order to show a movie in full under fair use, it has to be shown in a classroom setting. The teacher has to be present, and it has to be an essential part of the curriculum. All 3 criteria must be met to qualify for fair use. A teacher copies one article from a periodical for distribution to the class. Is this allowed under fair use? Yes. Distribution of multiple copies for classroom use is fair use. But here's a word of caution. Repeated use, as well as a large class size, may weigh against fair use. A teacher has posted class notes on a web page available to the public. He wants to scan an article from a copyrighted journal and add it to his web page. Is this allowed under fair use? No. If access is open to the public, then this use is not a fair use scenario. No exclusively educational purpose can be guaranteed by putting the article on the web. If access to the web page is restricted, then it is more likely to be considered fair use. A teacher created a senior class video to be shown to the parents at graduation. This included several full-length licensed songs that were legally acquired by the teacher for use on her music player. Is this considered fair use? No. You cannot, for any reason, play more than 30 seconds of a licensed song for a mass audience. There is also no relevant educational purpose to listen to the music. Acquiring the songs legally is for personal use only. Here are some additional resources when you have questions about whether an item you plan to use is considered fair use or would be in violation of copyright law.
How can teachers help students become good digital citizens? Digital citizenship is appropriate, responsible behavior related to technology use. It can help educators and parents understand what users should know in using technology appropriately, and it is a way to help prepare children and adults for a society full of technology. More and more, we are seeing students as well as adults misusing and abusing technology. The issue is more than what the users do not know, it is also what is considered appropriate technology use. There are 5 main ways to teach students about digital citizenship. Show students how to create and maintain a positive digital footprint. Your digital footprint is an online version of you, and it may be the only description someone has of you, particularly potential employers. Your digital footprint is made up of your personal information, your actions and uploads, and your digital trail. Your digital footprint is important because 87% of Americans can be identified online with just 3 facts about them: their zip code, their birthday, and their gender. Hiring managers and college admission officers are turning to the internet more and more to research potential candidates. The second way teachers can include digital citizenship skills is through using a learning management system. Edmodo and Schoology are free learning management systems which provide teachers with platforms for discussions, resource sharing, grading, messaging, and networking. These programs offer a school-oriented, safe, and age-appropriate space where students can learn how to connect through social media. If we introduce this early on, we seize the opportunity to teach social interaction through the learning and identity lens first. The third way to teach good citizenship skills is by modeling good citizenship by setting age-appropriate expectations for students. Most social media sites require the user to be 13 or older. Students under the age requirement of 13 should not be on these sites, and there is a good reason for that beyond the fact that they would be breaking the rules. Teachers should not encourage a class group to form on social media sites if students are under that age. By requiring students to create accounts and break the age restrictions, we are dismissing the rule and encouraging a lack of respect and accountability to the community guidelines, which is the very opposite of encouraging citizenship. There are numerous resources online that provide complete digital citizenship lessons. Websites such as Common Sense Media, Planet Nutshell Videos, and PBS Kids Webinauts Academy have an abundance of free lesson plans, activities, videos, and worksheets designed to get students talking about digital citizenship. The last way to include digital citizenship in lessons is to consistently stress the 9 P's of digital citizenship. Create secure passwords and always keep them safe. Make sure your private information can't be used to track you. Keep your addresses and phone numbers private and never give information to people you don't know in real life. Choose carefully who you share personal information with. Limit the use of your image in photographs. Be alert to any personal information that may appear in an image, and get permission to post pictures of others. Be aware of any copyright that may be on images you use. Find fair use images or graphics, and legally obtain copies of images, music, or movie clips. Also get permission for the works that you use and cite sources to give credit. Be alert and protect yourself from viruses and identity theft. Use proper etiquette on the web as you would face-to-face, and communicate appropriately with others. Think about how you are perceived by others and make your digital footprint positive. Be intentional about what you share. The online activity statistics for students is eye-opening. 1 in 7 kids received a sexual solicitation online. 95% of social media using teens have witnessed cruel behavior on social networking sites, and 86% of teens believe it's okay to illegally download and share music. By incorporating these 5 steps into everyday classroom assignments, we will be empowering our students with strong digital citizenship skills.
Created using Powtoon.